Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Christina K, and this is Cross Life. Today I'm going to be demonstrating how we travel with our cat Wolfie, otherwise known as our little adventure buddy. In this video, we're on a cross-country road trip, and we're driving back home to Minnesota from Florida after spending the winter snowbirding there. And I started recording footage in the Smoky Mountains in North Carolina and Tennessee. Before we get into everything, I want to make some important side notes first, and I'll play some cute footage of Wolfie in the background while I do that. First, in no way is this meant to be a video telling you to do these exact things. I know that everyone's different and there are a lot of factors that go into having a successful trip with a pet. I just want to show how it works for us and hopefully offer some new ideas. This is all based on a lot of trial and error over the years and figuring out what works best for us and our cat. Second, we always put the child safety locks on so that Wolfie can't accidentally roll down the windows while we're driving. This goes along with making sure that we don't roll our own windows down more than a couple of inches. Third is that Wolfie refuses to use the litter box or eat or drink while he's in the car. We've tried so many different times, but he just will not do it. But that's actually a big reason why our trips work out so well and why we have the specific setup that we do. Fourth, when we travel, we always bring sheets to cover any and all furniture wherever we stay. Also, if we're staying at a specific place for more than a few days at a time, we make sure that we have access to laundry so that we can wash the towels, sheets, blankets, and clothes that we use in the course of traveling. Having clean laundry is essential on a trip, but especially when a pet is involved. The fifth side note is that we generally limit driving time to 8 or 9 hours per day when Wolfie's in the car with us. Yes, we could push it and go longer than that, but we found that to be unnecessary and a little bit unpleasant. Sixth is that I'm going to get ahead of a question that I'm sure people want to ask, and that is, but what about safety? When Wolfie's sitting with me or on the center console armrest, I'm holding him the entire time, and he has plenty of cushion, so he's quite protected when he's sitting with me. Finally, while my husband and I have traveled the world together, we do only travel domestically with our cat. So there are no airplanes or international travel for Wolfie, unfortunately. Only road trips and vehicles. Okay, well, with all that being said, let's get right into it. To start off, I'm going to show you the crate and litter box setup that we have, and we only use disposable litter boxes whenever we travel with Wolfie since they're smaller and fit inside of his crate. It's also a lot easier getting home from a trip and not having to worry about cleaning everything. We have 2 regular litter boxes at home that are clean and ready to be used when we get back, then we just throw out the disposable litter box. We used to have his litter box inside his crate with nothing covering it, just in case he needed to use his kitty toilet, but we realized over time that he never actually used it, so we ended up covering the litter with a large towel. That way, there's more cushion in there when he uses it as a bed, and obviously it's much more comfortable for him. Also, it keeps litter from getting all over inside the car, which is a huge bonus. Then when we're done unloading Wolfie from the car, we just remove the towel so that his litter box inside the crate is ready to go. Since he loves sleeping in enclosed huts, especially in the wintertime, we like to cover his entire crate with a small fitted sheet. We leave an opening in the front for ventilation, obviously, and so that he can get in and out easily. Sometimes he wants company and to come sit with us in the front, and other times he just wants privacy and to sleep in a covered bed. We leave his crate door open when we're driving because I think it would be mean to leave him locked in there all day, especially since he's so well behaved in the car. He really hates being locked away, so I want to try and make it as enjoyable for him as possible. And here is an adorable example of what it looks like when Wolfie's in the crate in the car. As you can probably tell, he's getting really tired at this point, so it's time to close up shop with the sheet. This not only makes him feel safer, but it encourages more restful sleep. And now it's time for a nap, right, Wolfie? See ya! Next up, I'm going to show our car setup, starting with the outside and what we do when we need to bring extra luggage, particularly on long trips, and when we have a little bit less space because we're bringing the cat with us. Here my husband is setting up and filling our rooftop cargo carrier, and it comes with an anti-slip gripper mat underneath, as well as straps with clips and zippers. However, just to be safe, we still like to add extra straps across the top. We've traveled thousands of miles and in every kind of weather with this topper, and it still works great. It's also very reasonably priced. I'll put the link down below in the description box for anyone who might be interested. Next, let's go over the setup for the inside of the car when we travel with Wolfie. It's a very important part of the whole process since this is where we're sitting all day long, and it includes the back seat, which is Wolfie's area, as well as how I set up my own personal station in the front of the car. For starters, I like to bring 2 pillows and 2 blankets for the front seat. I also put a comforter in the back seat to protect the leather in the car, but also to give Wolfie more cushion. I put one of the blankets in the center console area. Then I use the other blanket and pillows for on top of and around me, which I'll show in a little bit here. Can't forget the neck pillow either, of course. I like this specific inflatable neck pillow because I like to be able to easily adjust the firmness. I put the purse down and in between my feet so that it doesn't take up extra space, but it's still accessible. And then we put beverages in the cup holders that have lids or caps so they stay clean and fur-free. And now Wolfie is getting ready to go in the car. So we like to put Wolfie's crate behind me on the passenger side, and then my husband adjusts everything underneath it until the crate is level. And that usually just means adding a coat or a small blanket or something similar underneath and at a little bit of an angle. We also put small items in the empty leg space in the back seat so that Wolfie doesn't accidentally step or fall in there. And then the cooler goes on top of Wolfie's crate so that we can easily access our drinks when we're driving. Then when everything is good to go, this is what it looks like. And we're officially ready to hit the road. Now that I'm inside the car in the front passenger seat, this is my view of the back seat. And of the center console. And of my lap. And of my right arm area. I use 1 pillow on my lap and 1 blanket for my right arm, and then I use the second blanket for the area in between the chair and the window by the seat belt. Doing this gives me more support and comfort for the long drive and even some privacy from passing vehicles. These blankets also help to fill in any areas where Wolfie might step. Then of course I need my phone charger. And again, my neck pillow. Once that center spot is open where the neck pillow is currently sitting, and this is only for my husband's car specifically, we put a phone in that spot for watching shows and controlling Bluetooth and using the GPS. Now that I'm all settled into my spot and I grabbed a drink from the cooler, we're ready to leave. Okay, and next I'm going to show the setup that we have for all the other cat essentials and accessories when we travel. And of course, Wolfie's checking things out, just like he always does. What we have here is a tote that is for carrying all of his necessities, except for his cat litter, of course, which is much too large and gets put in the trunk of the car on its own. This tote's actually an insulated, reusable grocery bag that can also be used like a cooler. I thought it was absolutely perfect for Wolfie's items because it's roomy, it zips shut, and it has 2 handles. This is a shot of most of what will go inside the tote. And there Wolfie is already mauling the Ziploc baggie of catnip, so let's just take that away for now till I'm done filming. And don't worry, Mom, he did have a nice snack with catnip after this. I'm gonna let him do his inventory management and checking duties for just a moment, and then when he moves out of the way, we can finish up. Okay, now back to it. I'm going to start off with this very useful pet accessory for traveling. Like I said, Wolfie never eats, drinks, or goes to the bathroom in the car. However, this is such an awesome invention, and I think could be very helpful for people with pets, whether it's cats or dogs. It is a portable 4-in-1 pet water bottle with food storage and waste baggies. It also comes with a little scoop that clips on the side, but the scoop got lost somewhere along the way, so I don't have it for this video. It comes apart into 3 pieces so you can put food and water in there, and the water comes out a little bit like a fountain. Then you just put all the pieces back together and voila! And this is what the waste baggies look like here. This would be good for taking pets for walks also, not just for traveling. If you'd like to purchase this item, I'll put the link in the description box below, and the same goes for all the different items in this video. If there's anything you see that you would like for your own pets, you can check those out. Now back to filling up Wolfie's travel tote. I discovered a long time ago that he loves scalp massagers, so I like to bring one of these with us when we travel with him. He likes to chew on these and to get nice long scratches on his head and back, and it sounds pretty good to me. Next up is Wolfie's Crunchy Food, which is a special blend that I mix up for him that contains 2 or 3 different kinds of hard food and some tender bites. He really loves to eat, but he is a picky eater, so I do my best to make sure that he's happy with his meals and has variety in his diet. I put the food in this big container as it's perfect for traveling and keeping the food closed off and fresh. We also have his travel water fountain, which has a water level indicator window and an LED light in it, and that just plugs right into the wall. Next up is probably the most important thing to Wolfie, and that would be a collection of lickable squeeze tube treats. I have bought them all, and these are the 2 brands that he likes the most. He just gobbles these up, and he gets really upset if we don't give them to him with every meal. We have some regular and some grain-free in a variety of flavors, and they come in really handy containers that have lids and handles, and I like to reuse those whenever I stock up on them. Bringing small garbage bags for waste and for used litter is another essential when traveling with a cat, so we have a variety of those in different sizes and colors. He also needs his travel food dish and mat for underneath it. One side of the bowl is for his dry cat food, and the other side is for his other snacks or wet food that come in individual containers. And these are what I'm talking about here. He has pretty much moved on from these meat and gravy pate meals at this point, except for licking the gravy off the top, but these were his favorite for a long time. He just prefers the squeeze tubes now instead. And we have to remember the scoop for his crunchy food as well. Now back to the scalp massager, and that goes with 2 other brushes. Each of these is used for something different and has its own individual purpose. This little claw-like light blue brush is mostly just for scratching Wolfie's jowls and cheeks. And this is his main or regular brush, the green one, which he also loves. It's a self-cleaning brush with a release button that his grandma bought for him from a local pet store around here. And whenever he hears the noise that it makes, he comes running, as you can see. And yes, I had to pause it for a moment to make sure that Wolfie got a nice thorough brushing. And now we're back again, putting those in the tote. Almost done. We are getting there. Alrighty, and next is a large lint roller. Those are always good to have on hand when you have an extra fluffy kitty. Of course, there's the catnip again, and it's inside a baggie that's inside of a second baggie, so lock in all that delicious catnip freshness. When traveling with Wolfie, I do like to bring a few of his travel-friendly toys, like a ribbon wand, rope, and a ball with a tiny bell in it, and his feather toys are a bit too large to fit in the tote, but his favorite toys are rope, strings, and ribbons anyway. We also pack his harness, and this is actually a harness for a small-sized dog because the cat harnesses were too small for him. We have tried other leashes and harnesses, but he just always hates them because they're either too uncomfortable or he just straight up breaks loose from them. Oh man, Wolfie, he's such a butterball turkey, I tell ya, but I love him so much. Anyway, so we pack those up in a separate plastic bag so they don't get stuck or tangled in anything, and we roll it up and then put that on top inside the tote. And that's that. Here is the tote, nicely packed and zip shut and ready to go. And here's Wolfie's daily food and water station at home. I think it's important to keep your travel setup similar to your house so that your pet doesn't get confused about anything when you're traveling. So first we have his water fountain, and then we have one dish for dry or crunchy food, and then another smaller dish for snacks and treats other than squeeze tubes because we feed those to him by hand. And yes, that is a custom stainless steel food bowl for Wolfie. Now I would like to give a special shout out to someone, and that's my husband, for always being so helpful when we travel and doing all the driving so that I can enjoy the scenery and record footage and take care of Wolfie when we go on road trips. Wolfie and I both love you so much, and we appreciate everything that you do for us. And that wraps it up. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like and comment on it below, and please consider subscribing to my channel. All those things really help me with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great day and evening, and I hope to see you next time.